When you're looking at a piece of mountain property, it's almost impossible not to get swept away by the view, right? But the real make or break decisions, they're not found in what you see at first glance. They're hidden in how the land itself actually works. So let's dig in. In a place as special as the Highlands Cashiers Plateau, this quote, well, it's pretty much everything. The land here isn't just a pretty background for your house. It is the most important character in the story of your home. It has more say than almost anything else in what you can build and really how you're going to live there day in and day out. So, if the land is an active participant, what does that mean for us? It means we have to learn to see these properties through a completely different lens. We need to shift from just appreciating the beauty of a view to really understanding the powerful forces at work underneath it all. Okay, picture this. You've got two lots right next to each other. They've got similar acreage, almost identical views, and hey, they even have the same price tag. You'd think they're pretty much the same, right? Well, once you start to look closer, you might find out they're a world apart in ways that will shape absolutely everything. And this right here is the fundamental difference. We're talking about a home that can settle in versus a home that has to be engineered in. Does the land welcome a house, letting it fit naturally into the curves of the landscape? Or do you have to basically force it into place, fighting the terrain the whole time? That one single distinction can change everything, from your budget and your timeline to headaches with maintenance for years to come. So where does an expert even start with all this? Well, the very first thing they look at isn't the view, it's the slope. It's all about reading the land, seeing how it lays, where it drops off, and where it provides a natural shelf to build a home. And I love this quote because it gets right to the heart of it. That slope isn't just a passive feature, it's an active force. It might look peaceful, but that grade is already dictating how complex the foundation needs to be, what the driveway approach is going to look like, and ultimately, how much the whole thing is going to cost. And this image, it shows it perfectly. Some of the most breathtaking home sites are also the most complex. Now, that complexity isn't necessarily a bad thing, not at all. But it's something you have to understand and plan for from day one, not discover as a surprise when the bulldozers show up. Okay, after slope, the next big unseen force we have to talk about is water. And in an environment like this, water isn't just something that happens now and then. It's a constant, powerful presence that is always, always moving. Now, here's a little fact that blows a lot of people's minds. This area is technically classified as a temperate rainforest. And what's the one thing that defines a rainforest? Water. Tons of it. And this isn't just some fun trivia. It's the single most important piece of context for understanding how the land works here. So how much water are we really talking about? Well, in some years, the rainfall can top 100 inches. Think about that. That's more than 8 feet of rain. And every single drop of that water has to go somewhere. The land has to be able to handle it. Because of that, every property develops its own unique water pattern. So even if you visit on a beautiful, dry, sunny day, a pro can see the clues. They can spot where water tends to collect, where it creates channels, and where it might cause some serious issues down the road. It's like being a detective, reading the story that water has already written on the land. And that brings us to another huge point. In a lot of places, you buy a piece of land and you tell it what you're going to do. Here, it's often the other way around. The land tells you what's possible, all because of these technical limits that are completely invisible when you first walk the property. For example, here's a question you're probably not thinking about when you're mesmerized by that 100-mile view. Can the spot for the septic system actually tell you where your house has to go? And the answer is a resounding yes. The land's ability to support a septic system, which depends on things like the soil type and whether it can pass something called a perk test, is totally non-negotiable. It's actually not that unusual for the absolute best spot for the view to be completely off limits for building because of these invisible rules. Okay, so let's say you figured out what's technically possible. Now the focus gets to shift to something a little more personal. It's no longer about if you can build a home, but how that home is going to live and feel every single day. This is where we get into things like home orientation. Which way will it face to get that gorgeous morning light? How usable will your deck or your yard be? Is it too sloped to enjoy? And a big one, access. Just the simple act of coming and going can make or break your experience. Let's just zero in on access for a second. On the one hand, you could have a really tricky, steep approach. On the other, a driveway that feels easy and just flows with the land. That single thing, how you get in and out of your property, shapes your life every day, in every season. It is so much more than just a minor detail.
And this is what it's all about. This is the goal. When you take the time to really understand the land, the slope, the water, all the little limitations, the result is a home that just feels right. It's not fighting its surroundings, it's settled in and perfect harmony with the terrain.
So at the end of the day, here's what it all comes down to. The things that separate a good home site from a truly difficult one are almost never obvious on that first visit. But those are the very things that determine if you'll still love your decision 5, 10, even 20 years from now. So the real question isn't just, do I love this view? It's, have I taken the time to truly understand this land?